me have to vote for your Holness and roll and selection. And as workers, we have challenges. Because some of us, the same workers who is privileged in getting, we are the first ones to say we now get. And we are the first ones to say, me now work. Because nothing now happen. And it is not only here, it is right across the political spectrum. Because in my own constituency, when them come to me with that argument, I say, hold on, I do have a shortage of workers. So bye-bye. But I still go back and call them because I learned one thing. That if somebody have a problem, that one person have a friend who know the problem. And that friend have a friend who know the problem. And they might have 20 friends. So when you think it's only she alone know about our problem, there are 19 other persons who knows about it. And that can have a rippling effect on you. And in a constituency like this, where the last time we won it was in 1980, and see one of the founders of that victory here sitting right in front of you here. One MC. She was a part of an organization that Edward Seaga introduced into central Manchester, taking Dr. Beaumont, who never knew nothing about politics, but came, learned, and became a good member of parliament. It was because of an organization that existed here in central Manchester. And you, the workers, sitting here tonight, despite our weaknesses, because nobody's perfect, you were the contributing factor to Rhoda's victory in the last general election. While the local government elections didn't go the way that you wanted, it gave you an opportunity to respect the results, but also to have a look inside to see what went wrong and why it went wrong. The party since February last year took that result. It was not a result that we wanted, but it is a result that we needed. Because let me tell you something. What it has done to the Labour Party, it has allowed Labour rights to recognize that the price of freedom comes at a very high premium. You cannot allow this constituency to return to the People's National Party. You can't allow the gains that have been made. But I want you, when you come back, when we get closer to the elections, when you have the meetings to work out the things that you need to do, to put in the various strategies as to how to get out the voters, because that is going to be important. And all of you must be committed. So you can start to run the cameras now, the live stream now. Because I don't talk to you saying the things quietly that I don't want to say publicly. So let me say to you now, you cannot afford to allow a man who has been mayor for more than 10 years. And who has been a councillor for over 20 odd years. And can't point to one. And can't point to one thing that has happened in his division or in the parish of Manchester under his watch. But you know what is frightening, Labourites? These are the same people who, when the Prime Minister came here to talk about giving you a recreational park to lift the standard of the parish and the capital. And if those who are talking knew what existed in Mandeville before, they would know that this was considered to be one of the cleanest and nicest parish capital in Jamaica. So they should never turn down an offer that speaks about improvement and lifting the standard of people's lives in this parish. And then talking about to tell me to deal with the market plan. Well, let me say this to you. I have not responded to it because stupidity is something I don't run down. But let me say this. Anybody who can bring this plan that they claim that was there from PNP was in power. And why is it PNP was in power and nothing never happened? The one on son you hear is because we come, I put it in file 13. Let me just respond to that. Since 2016, the Jamaica Labour Party government have built more markets and repair more markets in Jamaica than the PNP has done in over 30 odd years. There is over 37 markets in Jamaica. 80% of our markets are over 100 years old. I challenge all of them with them loose mouth who has been talking to go back as far as 1972 and name one new market that they have built. Ask them to list how many markets they have repaired. So since I became minister in 2016, there are 15 markets in Kingston. 15 out of the 30 island-wide. 11 is in my constituency, including the Coronation Market. When I was mayor of Kingston, I got Digicel to spend close to $150 million on Coronation Market. We were in government at the time. And when we lost the election in 2012, and I became member of parliament, the balance of money that Digicel gave to complete Coronation Market, they use it to something else. Since 2016, we have done Clarkstown Market. We have built a brand new market in Port Maria. We're building a brand new market now in Buff Bay. We build a new market in Hopewell in Hanover. We build a new market in Falmouth in Trelawney. We have repaired Coronation Market, Queen's Market. Now we're going to be building a new market in Sparling. We have done more for markets. Right. We have done more for markets in this country than any other government. So when they're talking about we don't, ask them of the markets in Jamaica, how much they lease out to their PNP Topanaris friends. In 2016, I went to Yalas in the by-election. And when I went to Yalas, the people them come to me and say, Mr. Mckenzie, the market lock up. We have to sit down outside at the gate. I sell. I say, what happened? They lease the market to a PNP Topanaris. And him use the market to sell car parts, motor vehicle parts, turn the market into an auto shop. And I said to the people in Yalas, I am committing myself to you that once the lease on the market is up, we are going to return the market to the vendors. And it takes long because what they try to do, they try to hide the lease so that when the lease is ready to up, they want to extend it. And I have to stand up on my foot. The Yalas market, the vendors after the lease expired, the vendors keep calling us, say, listen, minister, we want to go into the market. And I went out there the other day, and the people them said, minister, we don't care what the condition of the market is. Clean it up and make us go back inside here. And we clean it up, and every vendor went back inside. We allocated some $16 million. The work has started now to renovate the Yalas market, to put back the vendors there. That is what this Jamaica Labour Party government has done. Not to deprive people of markets. You go to Little London, in Westmoreland. The vendors them out in the boiling sun. The Topanaris PNP them lease the market to somebody to build headstone. While the vendors are sitting out in the sun. White House in Westmoreland. Hello. Man, that mash up beneath, man. White House in Westmoreland. And these are the things that we must know as labor rights. So when we hear them attack, we must tell them, say, we're back, we and go, we lie, them lie. Grudgeful. White House in Westmoreland. I went there on a tour. And the MP carried me to the market in White House. When I went there, I saw this dread. And him say him control. So I say, what you mean him control? Him say, him have the lease for the market. I say, have the lease for the market? Him say, yes. I say, how much you pay to the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation for the lease? Him say about $8,000 a year. All right, I don't remember if it's a year or a month. And I say, what? And what he says is that them increase the lease and him never have known. So when I raised it and the media was there and questioned it, when you're going to the market, you have mattress them on the ground and you have scented candle all around it. So that section of the market them used to do like a funny business. And they use the inside of the market to do other things. But you know what was sad, labor rights? I went around the back and there are about 12 shops that was constructed around the back. And every shop there was occupied. They were paying the man $30,000 a month. But his lease was chicken feed money. So PNP can't talk about markets. Because what they did was to lease out the markets to them friends. And what they're not telling us is that they collect market fees. And if there is improvement work to be done to the market, then they have it in their capacity to do it. This government plays no politics in repairing and building markets. They play politics on us in the same Westmoreland to build a fruit market for Negril in Westmoreland. We did everything to facilitate the building of that market. And they use statics and pushback and all sorts of things. I'm going to Westmoreland on Wednesday. So I am not a minister who is in a government that victimizes people for their politics, because our markets are a main source of revenue, especially for females. And that is why all the work that we have done across the markets, we have improved the markets last year, including Manchester, we provided funds to carry out repairs to all public sanitary facilities in markets across Jamaica. The government of Dr. Michael and Holness did that. But they can't stand to see our success. But mine kill them. Because instead of telling the country what you are going to do better than what we are doing, all I can hear is time come. But you know, there is one issue. Labor rights. There's one issue I wanted to stay out of. But I'm going to say something on it publicly. Look at how they are destroying the character of Dennis Strong. No. All labor rights, listen to me. This man first came to public attention in 2015, I think it was. Either 2015, either 2014 or 2015. When the PNP-led board of the National Solid Waste Management Authority wreck solid waste. The only thing that they used to be proud of is the amount of fire they have and the amount of money that they spend to hold fire. And the Prime Minister at the time had to make some changes. And she called at least 3 members out of the private sector, including Mr. Chung, and asked him to serve on the board of the National Solid Waste Management Authority. And these people were in private life, lawyers, accountants, and bankers, accepted, served. In 2016, when we became the government, as the minister with responsibility for the solid waste, I had to name the board. And I engaged the Prime Minister and my colleagues. And I said to them, look, said PM, we want to make a difference at solid waste. And I think we should give them the opportunity to continue to try to turn the agency around. And the Prime Minister didn't hesitate. And the Prime Minister gave his support. When we retained them on the board, naturally some of our supporters never like it. But let me tell you something tonight here. When we retained them, Mr. Chung and his team and the other new members of the board, the National Solid Waste Management Authority, for almost 15 years, have never presented its annual report that should be tabled in Parliament. For over 15 years, they have failed to. And when I tasked the new board with the responsibility to turn around the fortunes of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, labor rights, I want to tell you that in our first 4 years or less in government, the National Solid Waste Management Authority won the award as one of the best governed entity under Dennis Strong. And today as I speak, the National Solid Waste Management Authority is up to date with its annual record. It was Dennis Strong leadership that turned around that entity, that has made the National Solid Waste Management Authority an organization of respect. People now no longer turn up their face on solid waste. It was under his leadership that the thousands of workers who were working at solid waste, who never had job security, who was earning less than minimum wage, who never had health insurance, they never had any respect on the job because people treated them as if they were nobody. It was under his leadership that the National Solid Waste Management Authority has been turned around. And now, all of a sudden, you're using before. And now you're coming to tell us that he's no good, that he's not qualified. What kind of Jamaica are we building? How can we encourage persons outside of the political system to get involved when you tear down somebody because people not smiling with you the way you want people to smile with you? How can you trust people like those to take over this country and lead Jamaica? And I want all of you here to understand tonight that their target is our leader and prime minister. Because let me tell you something. One of the things that they have done over the years is to attack our leaders. Try to tear down our leaders. But let me tell you something. As a party and as a country, we're going to push back against the hypocrisy of a toothless, a party that lacks vision. This country, Central Manchester, should never ever make the mistake the country under Dr. Holness, crime has gone down 44% reductions in crime, never in the history of Jamaica from we start to measure. Listen to me. Poverty, and I want all of you to listen to this because we must have the information. We must have the information to tell them to back away. Since they started to measure poverty officially in this country, is the first in our history from the started to measure it. Poverty is at 8%, never before in Jamaica's history. Well, you know what is important in all of this? When they measure rural poverty, it is at a low. You know why? The social housing program of Dr. Holness, the indigent housing program of local government, the give backs, the benefits to people, the minimum wage. See, a trade union is just walking here. The minimum wage, and all the benefits that we have been able to give to Jamaicans under COVID, when rich, great countries where the economy is 50 times the size of ours were struggling, we were able to say to Jamaicans who in the private sector had to go home, apply and get some benefit to carry over. In Jamaica, not one civil servant lost their jobs during COVID. Your government, led by Dr. Andrew Holness, was able to keep a steady hands on the wheels of the economy of Jamaica. And all the good things that we've been doing, you want to exchange a street of gold riddled with pothole and booby trap. You want to replace a prime minister. When he stands up, the world listens. I am a prime minister, I know where he's from. I am a prime minister, I know where his allegiance are. There's no doubt about what Andrew Holness stands for. But I can't say the same about others. You know, the World Bank the other day had a big meeting. And when they call all the countries and they're talking about what is happening in the world economy, they say, listen, there's a small country by the name of Jamaica. Look at the Jamaican model. Use it. Why not labor rights? We're not talking the things that we need to talk. There's a country named Singapore. In the 60s, when our economy was booming, Lee Kuan Yew, who was the president of Singapore, came there. And when he looked at the Jamaican economy, he said, look, I like what I say. And he went back to Singapore. And Lee Kuan Yew introduced the Jamaican model. Singapore is one of the leading developed countries in the world using a model that they found here in Jamaica. So these people can't talk to it. They can't be critical of us. Because if we weren't a party that stood up for Jamaica, we couldn't be here tonight. Because you know why? When I hear them talk about Manley is the father of the nation. You know how sad it is when I listen to the foolishness that talk. Jamaica was a part of the West Indies Federation. 10 countries. And when Bustamante and the Labour Party said, no, it's time we want to break free and become an independent nation, the PNP said no. They said no. And when the Labour Party and Bustamante insisted, they said, well, it can't happen so. You know why they don't like referendum? Because they said the only way they will agree if the country go to a referendum. And the country went to a referendum. And the Jamaican people rejected federation in such a way that Eric Williams said, well, it's 10 countries in the Caribbean. So 1 from 10 leaves 0. So if we had allowed the PNP in the 60s to keep us in federation, You think we would be here talking about the land of wood and water? Huh? I wonder how many of you in this room, and these are the things that we need to sit down and think about. In the 70s, when they talk about they are open socialists, they're going to walk hand in hand with Fidel Castro to the top of the mountain. And when they talk about Cuba, they say Cuba is their brother. Of course it's our brother, they are our neighbors. But I don't think politically we think alike. And when people start to talk about it, the Prime Minister of the day said, listen, those of you who don't like it, there are 5 flights a day to Miami. Take it. And what happened to Jamaica? Brain drain. And we're just recovering from that. And these set of jokers want to come back. Well, I'm saying to you tonight, Labour Rights in closing, this country has come too far under Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party. We have just started to benefit from years of sacrifice. How can you replace a government since 2016 that has not imposed 1 cent of new taxation on the country? How can you replace a government when the largest road repair program in our history is taking place as I speak now? Billions of Jamaican dollars is being spent on road. And all they try to do is to discredit it. None of us never come out and tell you that you're going to have pothole-free road in 3 years, because we can't do that. Jamaica has one of the largest road network in the world. And when I say large road network, we connect so easily. And we know our roads are bad. But yet, it takes time, and you have to have money to do it. We now put the country in a position that we have to borrow 1 cent to repair any of the roads that you are repairing now. So you must come and tell me, what is it you're going to do better? Don't tell me about the roads them bad. Because if you were maintaining the roads over the 18.5 years, we wouldn't have to be spending so much now. We were sections of this parish, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth, was destroyed by burial. I came and I toured Alligator Pond and other places. Your government, because of prudent management of the economy, we never had to borrow 1 cent to assist in the recovery after burial. Last week when we launched the hurricane season, the country was told that we have enough money, we have the insurance, we have the bond, that if something should happen, Jamaica would be able to stand up. To stand up. Are you coming to tell me time come? Time come. Time come. Time come. Chatty mouth. We free alone no chatty mouth. So Labour Rights, let us not let us take this election serious. Let us not believe that they are going to roll over and die. But we will never surrender to the PNP in this country. Never! And it is in the country's interest to secure your children and your grandchildren's future. Rhoda is qualified, tried, tested, and proven. She's not somebody who discredit people because, that little girl, go sit on one side. She can't, whatever. She came to serve, and she has been serving. Not everything that you want, she has been able to do. But trust me, with God in the vessel, he's smiling at this time. Labor rights, the next time you see me is during the real campaign. One love. One love, labor rights. Shower.
Thank you so much, Deputy Leader Desmond Mckenzie, not only for your amazing presentation, but for leading our tour across the constituency today. Deputy Leader, we know it's not customary to have anyone speak after the main address, but please allow me to allow the next Member of Parliament